The 2025 EuroBasket is finally here, and it is absolutely stacked with NBA talent. There's over 20 active NBA players participating and just as many former players. We even get to see some of the best in the league playing in Jokic, Giannis, and Luka. Although we're still a couple months away from the NBA starting up again, we still get to see some of the top players in the world representing their countries. If you don't know what the EuroBasket tournament is, it's one of the biggest international basketball events and can also be used as a qualifier for other major competitions. There's 24 countries participating, and the winner will be named the 2025 EuroBasket champions. But let's take a look at some of the top teams before breaking it down by groups and talking about everything else. Currently, the number one team in the power rankings is Serbia, which really isn't surprising. They're led by Nikola Jokic, and we just saw them last year almost beat USA's super team in the Olympics. They also have current NBA guys like Bogdan Bogdanovic, Nikola Topic, Nikola Jovic, Tristan Vucevic, and 7 other players that have played in the league at some point. Serbia are the heavy favorites going into the tournament, so they're public enemy number 1. Plus, Jokic has never won a gold medal before. We just watched him win the bronze in last year's Olympics. He won the silver back in 2016 and also won the silver in the EuroBasket tournament the next year in 2017, so he's definitely looking to win it all. Second in the power rankings is Germany. They're led by Franz Wagner, Dennis Schroeder, Tristan da Silva, and a few other lesser-known players. They have a really solid team and are typically always competitive wherever they play. They will be missing a couple guys like Mo Wagner, Isaiah Hartenstein, and Maxi Kleber, but they should be just fine. Next is France, who just like Serbia is pretty stacked with NBA talent. They have 13 players who are either in the NBA right now or played in the NBA at some point. They're led by guys like Bilal Coulibaly, Zachary Risache, Alex Sarr, Gershon Yabusele, and a few more. Although, unfortunately for them and fortunately for everybody else, they won't have their full roster. They'll be missing guys like Wemby, Rudy Gobert, and Evan Fournier, who were all extremely important during the Olympics. There's a good amount of NBA players in general missing this tournament for whatever reason, just because it's not as big as something like the World Cup or Olympics. Which is why the top players that are playing in it really have my respect. For most countries, if they lose 3 of their top players, then their team is done, but for France, they still have more than enough to be competitive. And honestly, this is a real chance for their young core to start a new era. Turkey's another top team, being led by Alperen Sengun. They also do have some other solid players around them as well. They went from 9th to 4th in the most recent power rankings, so we'll see what they can do. Latvia is being led by Kristaps Porzingis and is also one of the hosts of the tournament. I'm curious to see how much Kristaps is going to be able to play, only because he's been dealing with all sorts of lingering injuries over the last few months. They're considered one of the top teams, but they do have a pretty tough schedule coming up during group play. Then there's Greece, who's being led by Giannis. The reason they're this low is because they'll be missing their star point guard and big man that they had in the Olympics. However, they will still easily be competitive because Giannis is simply that good. Him playing under FIBA rules makes him that much more dominant than he already is, and if he's on your roster, then anything's possible. Greece has yet to win a medal during this tournament before, so they'll be looking to get there first. And similar to Greece, Slovenia is also being led by an NBA superstar in Luka Doncic. Not only do they have Luka, but they have the new and improved skinny Luka. They've already had their first exhibition game against Germany, and despite the loss, him and the rest of the team looked good. They are missing a few key players, but similar to what I said about Giannis, when Luka puts on that Slovenia jersey, he reaches another level. Some of his best basketball performances ever happened in a FIBA setting. Spain doesn't have many NBA players, but they're always pretty good no matter what. They were the last winners of the EuroBasket tournament back in 2022, and despite not having that same team, they have one of the best systems and cultures there is, so you can't underestimate them. They've literally won at least some kind of medal in every single EuroBasket since 2007. Lithuania has a solid team, but they're missing some of their top players in Domantas Sabonis and Matas Buzelis. However, they didn't have them during the 2023 World Cup and beat Team USA in the second round. Then the final team I'll mention is Finland, who's being led by Lauri Markkanen, who, if you didn't see, scored 48 points during their very first exhibition game against Belgium. Not only did he drop almost 50, but he did it in only 25 total minutes. It was a dominant performance, and he filled up the stat sheet in other categories too. Plus, the team around him is pretty good, and they're also one of the hosts of the tournament as well. So we'll see what they can do going forward. There are other NBA players and really good teams that I didn't mention too. But like every big international tournament, EuroBasket starts with group play before starting single game eliminations. and the 24 total countries will be divided into 4 groups. Group A has teams like Serbia, Latvia, and Turkey. Group B has Finland, Germany, and Lithuania. Group C has Greece and Spain, and Group D has France and Slovenia. The top teams are actually pretty evenly spread out, and group play alone will have some pretty fun to watch matchups. The whole tournament begins August 27th and will last until September 14th. But teams are already practicing with each other right now, and as I've mentioned, other teams have already started playing their exhibitions. So if there's a certain team you want to watch, their exhibition schedule should be available right now. If you're looking for something to scratch that basketball itch during the offseason, then this should definitely do that. These international games are intense, and every matchup feels like Game 7 of the finals. If you want to take a look at the full schedule, I'll have it linked in the description. You'll be able to watch the games live on FIBA's streaming platform called Courtside 1891. Some of the big games will be on cable TV, and almost all major tournament games will be streaming live on FIBA's YouTube channel. And if you miss anything, they typically post the highlights soon after the games end. It's going to be interesting to see what happens. We get to see some of the top teams in the country face off, while at the same time getting to see guys like Giannis and Luka try to carry their team to the gold. But let me know what you guys think about this year's EuroBasket tournament, and please leave a like on the video to support the channel. Also subscribe if you're new for more basketball videos just like this one.